Hi, my name is Dozie. Welcome. This is a regular podcast that happens every Sunday by 8 p.m. and I'm happy to have you with me. Today we're going to be speaking on a topic called Van der Waals, the invisible forces that slowly pull us apart. And while we are sinking that in as the topic of discussion today, um, I'd like you to take out a couple of seconds to like the video and subscribe to the channel if you have not already done that. And then, of course, share to others so that they can see what you're up to by this time. All right, it's very important that you like this video because it will help the YouTube algorithm to show more people the content. It just basically tells YouTube that, oh, since some people find this interesting, let's show it to a wider audience. All right, thank you so much for joining. And like I said, we're having a conversation today about the topic Van der Waals. Now this seems like something, in case you don't know where this name came from, it is from a type of bond in physics called the Van der Waals bond. All right, it's called the Van der Waals bond. All right, and just so you know, it is a weak bond. It's a weak bond. All right, so I wish I'd had a comfort ball here. It's called naphthalene ball, but I mean, in this part of the world, I don't know if it's a Nigerian thing, but we have a nickname for almost everything, and in this case, it's called camphor, right? And so I wish I had one. I would have showed you here, but I'm sure you already know what it is. It's circular, oval. People usually put it in boxes when they want to pack their clothes for a long time. It keeps away small insects and all of that, right? Now, there's something I want you to notice about the camphor. It is one of the few solids that can go from solid state to gaseous state, aka invisible state, without passing through any form of liquid or anything like that. It just goes from solid to gas. And it doesn't happen like this. It happens gradually over time. And so if you leave a camphor ball in your sitting room, for instance, on the first day you're going to come out, you see it. After 1 week, you still see it, although it may seem smaller, but you keep seeing it. And one day you just figure out that this thing is no longer there. You may not even remember at what point I stopped seeing it, but you will suddenly notice that, oh, that camphor has finished, so I need to put another one, right? It is very gradual, all right? Very, very gradual. You will not even notice the exact point. That's my point right now. You will not notice the exact point that that camphor got missing, or when it finally vanished completely. You will not know, all right? And this is exactly how life is. You know, not everything that vanishes or everything that changes in your life goes out in a very loud way. You know, same thing with people. Not every person that lives your life lives in a loud way. Some of them go in a very gradual way. And I think there's even a concept about that in relationship, where you see that a relationship with you and someone is not working, and then you try to initiate a natural death. That's what they call it in relationships. Natural death is where you start talking to the person less and less until one day you don't talk to the person and you won't even notice that, oh, I've not talked to this person, and you just check your chat and you say, oh, I've not talked to this person in the past 3 days. All right, that's exactly the same concept here. So we're going to look at this in a couple of parts, and the first part we're going to look at is about the invisible forces. You need to understand that the law of physics still applies to the camphor. The law of physics still applies to the camphor, and the law of physics is, I think, is the first law of motion, if I'm not mistaken. It's the law that says that an item, an object, a body will remain in a particular state. It will remain in a particular state of motion or non-motion. That's if it's moving, it will continue moving. If it's not moving, it will remain like that until an external force acts on it. And you need to understand that the comfort that keeps reducing is not disappearing. It's actually changing. It's actually moving from solid to gas. It's not just passing through the liquid state. And so that external force now is what we're about to look at, because it doesn't seem obvious. If I'm standing and somebody pushes me, if for any reason I fall, or at least I shift from where I'm standing, you can look and say, that's the reason why this guy shifted. If I'm running, maybe I'm playing football, and suddenly an opposing player slides me and I fall, or at least I jump, or whatever happens to me during that tackle, you can look and say, this is the reason why. If someone is standing and a bullet is shot and it brings the person down, you can say, this is the reason why. But there are some things that happen in life that you can't really say, this is the cause. And usually what we do is we default to the universe, or we default to village people, or we default to saying, well, it's the will of God. Because the truth is, as human beings, we want to get as many answers as we can. So let's talk about the invisible forces. In chemistry, right, there are forces called the Van der Waals forces. I said that at the beginning. It's called the Van der Waals forces. You cannot see them. You cannot touch them. Yet they influence how certain objects behave, like camphor in this case. That's the same way it is in life, right? I think I've mentioned this. And so sometimes it's a simple conversation, sometimes it's a habit, sometimes it's the environment, it's friendship, one compromise. See, I've said it so many times, right? Nothing influences a person's mental state or lifestyle more than environment. And so even when you're training your children in your house, one of the ways you can train them in a certain way is to create the environment for the kind of lifestyle you want them to live. You cannot tell your children that, for instance, this is just an example, you can't tell them that smoking is bad and be smoking. You can't tell them that smoking is bad and then all your neighbors are smoking. You can't tell your children that drinking is bad and then there's stack of alcohol in the fridge. And that's why I keep on saying that being a parent comes with a lot of responsibility. For instance, I know a family that they tell their children that during the academic session, that's during the 3 months, first term, second term, third term, no TV, no watching of movies, no nothing. You have to focus on your books during that period. And guess what? In order to make sure that the children also keep to those rules, they themselves stop watching television. The father and the mother, they stop watching television. Like if they have to watch anything, they have to hide. Imagine hiding to watch film in your own house just because you are trying to create an environment. And so that's how these things are. They are invisible forces, and environment is one of them. Friendships is one of them. Conversations is one of them. These are things that just keep influencing you over time. Have you not noticed that there are some people you go out with, friends, I'm not talking of relationships now, friends, and over time, you start thinking like them. The jokes that make sense to them starts making sense to you. Why? Environment, invisible forces. All right. Now let's look at another one. And this is the second part I wanted to mention. The second point or part, whatever you want to call it, is that everything is not suddenly lost. Like, not everything that happens goes, it's like you're driving a car, you have an accident, and then your car is gone. Like, it happens suddenly. There are some things that happen over time. There's an example of fishing. I don't know if this is a very good example, but the way fishermen catch fish using hook and line is that when they throw in the fish line with the bait and the fish gets stuck on it, they don't just start dragging. It's novice that pull fish like that. They don't just start dragging. There's what they call reeling in the fish. And so what they do, they drag it small and leave it. Drag it small and leave it. When they are dragging it small and leaving it, the fish doesn't even realize that it's getting closer to them. The fish just keeps struggling, and as they are dragging and releasing, there is a point that it will get to, and the fish can't even struggle anymore because now you're way too close. If the fish is very far, say the line is long and the fish is very far, it's easier for the fish to escape. But the shorter that line gets, the more difficult it is for that fish to escape. And that's how this thing is. Not everything that is going to go wrong in your life is going to go wrong on the spot. For instance, if you decide that you're going to go to the gym 4 times every week, and after 4 months you find out that you're not even going to the gym at all, it's not because you suddenly woke up one day and say, I'm not going to the gym again. It's probably because on the first week you went the 4 times, second week you went the 4 times, and then on the third week you decided to go 3. On the third week you went 3 again. On the fourth week, let's say you went 4. And the next week you went 3. And then 3 dropped to 2. And over time, just as gradual as it is, you will eventually stop going. So these are things that you may not notice when they leave, because it's usually gradual. Number 1, discipline. You may not notice when you lose discipline. Number 2, passion. You may not notice when the passion for something has gone. It's a gradual process. Number 3, integrity. Like, oh, let me not expose him, he's my friend. Or let me not go that far. Let me not. This one, everybody's keeping quiet. And so, over time, it becomes normal. That is why I will not give this example. But there are places where you go to and you see people asking you why you're complaining about something that went wrong. And you're asking yourself, what do you mean by why am I complaining about something that went wrong? And you're wondering, and they're like, are you new to this place? It means that over time, it wasn't like that from the beginning. In the beginning, it was not so. There are a lot of things that we now normalize. That were not so from the beginning. I keep saying it. If you see the irresponsible dressing, the immoral dressing in Nigeria of 1990, 2000, 2005, at least I was born by then. I was born in the 90s, so I know what it was like. The irresponsible, so like that somebody dressed badly, like this one, only God knows what she's doing, is that the person wore jean trouser. I'm not saying ripped jeans, jean trouser from waist to ankle. No part of her body is showing, just that she wore jean trouser. That was immoral. up to 2005. Ladies don't just wear trousers those days and go out. I'm telling you. If you think I'm trying to over-exaggerate this, go and check worldly videos of 2000, 2002, 2005, 2007. Go and check their worldly videos. The videos that were termed worldly then, where they were singing about, even the worldly musicians couldn't come out very well and sing about Bum Bum. I'm serious. But today, obviously we know that that's a decent dressing of today because of how far off we have gone in terms of dressing. And so these things are gradual. Nobody knows the exact time where wearing jeans became irresponsible or became responsible. Nobody knows the particular time. But over time, it became normal. And then another thing that may go suddenly without noticing is purpose. Another thing that may go suddenly without noticing is joy. When people around you are always complaining about, not complaining about you, but complaining about other things. And over time, you find yourself partaking in those conversations. I'm not saying it's bad to complain, but you need to also protect your joy. Have you not noticed that there are friends that you'll be around and by default, you guys are already complaining about something? By default, like, because that's the kind of conversation that environment, that friendship promotes. So you must be aware. You can't just be negligent of things like this. Let's read this text together. Hebrews 2 verse 1. We must pay the most careful attention so that we do not drift away. We must pay the most careful attention so that we do not drift away. And I want you to notice the word drift. Notice the word drift. Drift over time has the same implication as turning. But the difference between turning and drifting is that drifting is gradual. In fact, while you're drifting, you can still be moving forward. While you're drifting, you can still be moving forward. So it's very gradual. It is very, very gradual. Drifting, while you're drifting, you are still moving forward. So you may not notice. You may not even notice. All right? Now, it's very important that you know that many people are not even falling. They are just drifting. And over time, they can't remember how. That's why people stay one day and ask themselves, how did I get here? How did we get here? You have to be very cautious of things like this. All right? And of course, let's talk about the little things that matter. There's a book of the Bible, I think Songs of Solomon. Let me check that out. Yeah, Songs of Solomon chapter 2 verse 15. It's talking about the little foxes that spoil the vine. Little foxes. It's not lions, it's not bears, it's foxes, small animals. All right. So there are some habits that create big futures. Some compromises create big failures. And of course, small acts of discipline can create remarkable lives. I've said it many times. The last 2 weeks, I was talking with my friend who is like a workout buddy. I would have called his name because the last time we had a conversation around this, he said if I call his name on live, he was going to give me a large sum of money. But I mean, that's a conversation for another day. But we're having a conversation and I told him, you see this stuff about working out. Somebody who carries 20 kg dumbbell every day, right? And let's say for a space of 300 days, and somebody who carries 60 or 50 kg worth of dumbbell only on Saturdays. The person who carries 20 every day for 300 days is, at the end of 300 days, that person is going to be more built than somebody who carries it just once every week. Right? And if you want to do the maths, I will tell you it is as good as somebody carrying that 50 kg dumbbell 54 times in a year and somebody carrying 20 kg dumbbell every day of a year, because that's almost 360. So consistently doing something over and over can yield great results, both on the negative and on the positive. All right. Now, let's look at this session. This is the next point, is that you must check out in your life who is currently influencing you. See, you must know. I've said it many times. There seems like there are a lot of things I've said many times. The Bible says bad company corrupts good manners. And I think it also works vice versa. Good company can also influence bad manners, depending on the ratio of good to bad. If you're with somebody, I've said this now many times, this is what I was referring to. If you're with a girl and the girl, she's good, she doesn't do anything like the OS and all of that, and all her friends are doing it, my brother, it's just a matter of time. That's if she genuinely doesn't even do it already. Because you can't be drinking clean water inside a gutter. It's not possible. Even if that water is clean, that is the wrong place to drink it, because it's a matter of time that water is going to be contaminated. You cannot drink clean water inside a gutter. You say, oh, no, it's inside my own bottle. And so it's in your bottle. So the best place to drink it is while you're sitting there inside the gutter. So the reason why you must look out for the people around you is because they influence you. They keep saying things, you're hearing it over and over, you're watching it over and over, and you're spending time with them over and over. That is why there are some things somebody will say around me, and I want to know about their family. There's a kind of character a guy is going to portray, and you want to know about his family. There's a kind of character that a girl is going to portray, and you want to know her family, especially her mother. And the reason why this is important is because currently there is an intentional attack on marriage. The concept of marriage, there is an intentional attack on marriage, and I'll tell you why. It's very simple. If families start getting it right, the society automatically will be better. Because every thief comes from a house. Every politician comes from a house. And so if every family starts getting training right, it means that over time, the impact is going to reach everywhere. And that's why some countries, for instance, you have to have a certain amount of money or lifestyle to have more children. There's a kind of lifestyle you have, almost one. You are mandated to have one child. Because as long as the family is getting it right, then the problems in society is going to reduce. And so that is why there is an intentional attack on marriages now. People going online, trying to down talk marriage and all of that. There are marriages that are not good. Yes, there are marriages that are also good. Why are we not hearing about those ones? All right? It's an attack. And so you must be careful who influences you, because they don't even have to tell you, do it this way or do it that way. Over time, you will start doing it. Even if you are still doing it your own way, gradually, you begin to adapt their ways. And that is why, even in the Bible, in the Old Testament, God kept on telling Israel, do not behave like the nations around you. Because you don't even have to be those nations. The fact that they are around you means that they have the tendency of influencing you, whether you like it or not. There are people that they live with certain roommates and they start praying more often. Environment. All right, and then this is the last point I'm going to make, is that you have to make it a point of duty to guide and guard what matters. All right, Proverbs 4:23 says, above all else, guard your heart, for everything you do flows from it. And, and it's still in this light that we say, out of the abundance of the heart, the mouth speaketh. And so some things disappear because nobody is protecting them. You have a relationship, protect it. You have a marriage, protect it. You have a character, protect it. You have faith, protect it. Your dreams, your peace, your joy, protect it. Protect it. If something is important to you, protect it. It does not matter how people see you. Protect it. There are some people that if you crack jokes around them about something they do, they take it very personal with you. And you're like, is it because of this small joke that you laugh? Well, if you know how important that thing is to you, protect it. I'm not the one that will tell you what you should protect, but I just mentioned a few of them. Protect it. Protect it. One thing we lack in this country is maintenance culture. And so you see a road is getting bad. It has been done, but it's getting bad. It doesn't just happen one day that you come out and there's no road again. It's a gradual process, one pothole. The time to protect that road is that time that the problem is still small. Protect it. If you cover that pothole, the problem with that area ends. The next one comes up, you cover it. That is you protecting it. So when your relationship, for instance, is having issues, follow the guidelines of the Bible. Is it something that is fixable? Is it a threat to life? Is it something that has to do with infidelity? If not, find a way to solve it. Protect it. Protect it. I'm telling you, if you don't protect it, it will not work. If you don't protect it, it will not work. And you have to do this as often as you can. You have to do it as often as you can. Nothing works out of the blue. Nothing works out of the blue. Anything that you see that is working, there had been some level of intentionality behind it. Nothing just works like that. Don't allow people to deceive you. Nothing just works like that. If you have a career that is important to you, protect it. If you have anything that it is that is important to you, protect it. And I have a couple of questions for you that I want you to reflect on. Number one is, what is that thing that is quietly disappearing from my life? What's it? Number two, what habits are weakening me? Those things that you do that after doing it, to pray is a problem, or to go out and make useful time of your life is a problem. Or those things, you kind of get the point. All right. And another question you have to ask yourself is, who is influencing the way I think? This one could be negative, it could be positive, but ask yourself, when I have problems or I want to get a second opinion on something, who do I run to? You need to be sure that that person is also in line with where you are going to, both spiritually and physically. All right. Then the next question you have to ask yourself is, what invisible forces are shaping my future? All right. And then ask yourself, am I drifting or am I growing? Am I drifting or am I growing? All right. And I think at this point, I'll start to round up. I promised 30 minutes, and so far I've tried. Last time I tried. Today again I'm trying. It should be about 30 minutes already. So I close this way. Not everything leaves your life with a loud goodbye. Some things simply fade. Your passion, your discipline, your faith, your integrity, your purpose. The frightening thing about gradual loss is that you often don't notice it until it's almost complete. Don't wait until everything is gone before you begin to pay attention. Protect the small things, because the small things are the things that eventually come together to form something big. Protect the small things. Correct the small compromises. Strengthen small disciplines. You've said you are never going to take alcohol. It has been proven beyond doubt that alcohol is not a sin, but if you have decided that you are not going to take it, protect it. If you've said every day I'm going to walk 10,000 steps or 5,000 steps, make sure you do it, even on the days when you don't feel like. That is you protecting it. If you've set out on a course to achieve something, follow through with it, even on the days when you don't feel like. That is you protecting your dream. And the reason is because today's invisible decision eventually becomes tomorrow's visible life. Thank you so much for joining. I really am grateful that you are here with me today. My name is still Dozie Chuks, and in the tech world, I'm called Dev Chuks. It's very important that you know that. Today, we had a conversation on the topic Waals, and the subtopic is the invisible forces that slowly pull us apart, that takes us, away from the things that we have planned to do. Thank you so much for joining. I really appreciate. Remember, once again, if you found this helpful, if you found this insightful, do well to share the video. Even if we are no longer live, people can still rewatch. All right, do well to share it with others. Let them know what you have just heard, and still let them know. Thank you so much, and I wish you a very, very good night, and I wish you also a happy new week. Thank you and good night.